understand that you are the victim of genocide here, are you feeling or expressing any sort of thoughts of self-harm or suicide as well?
Oh my God, how does my being a victim of genocide have anything to do with the end of your statement? That makes no sense to me at all.
Okay, no, I said I understand that you are the victim of genocide.
Right.
But I also need to make sure that you're not experiencing any thoughts of harming yourself.
Oh my God, you have got to be kidding me. So you know what happens?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're here to section me under the Mental Health Act. You're going to drag me off to some psychotic, psycho fucking public service that's not going to help me at all. They're not going to listen. They're not going to produce relief or remedy me at all. And this hamster wheel that I'm on that's designed to destroy me will continue. This is not my first rodeo.
No, and I'm not saying that that's what my plans are. I just need to make sure you're doing okay. My plan is to not come here and section you under Mental Health Act. I'm trying to make sure you're okay.
Does it sound to you like I'm okay?
Well, you sound okay as can be other than you yelling at me. Like I said, this is my first time speaking with you ever. I've never met you before. I've never dealt with you before. I've never had any interactions with you in your house that was taken from you. This is my first time coming in contact with you at all. That's the only reason why I'm here, okay? I just want to come and make sure you are okay as you possibly can be. I understand you went through a lot, but I want to make sure you're okay.
I never said at any point, nor did I speak, that I was going to kill myself, commit acts of genocide. I'm the victim of genocide. I'm the one being destroyed.
Okay.
Why would I destroy myself when you're all doing a wonderful job of destroying me all on your own?
So, again, I've only read a few files here, but what happened with your home? Your home was obviously taken from you.
Stolen, yes. In a fraudulent foreclosure action, yes.
Home that was, and then you were supposed to have the home after you passed, or what happened?
You have all the documents. I delivered the documents to the Saanich PD on the morning of November the 27th. I was treated with a level of disrespect and hatred that has now basically physically leveled me.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry you had to go through that. I really am. That sucks.
Nobody cares. Nobody wants to know what's really going on. No one's going to lay any criminal charges against all the criminals. I've now needed somebody to come help me get the trespassers out of my house so I can go home because I can't afford to live with no money. Who can afford to live with no money? Can you? I can't.
No, I definitely couldn't. So what was your email to Mr. Mangat about today then?
The email to Mr. Magnet was today, there has been an outstanding invoice for the past 2 years. Once the title and application fraud took place, I was no longer responsible for any of the household bills. And yet I continue to pay them, not realizing that's not only not my responsibility, it's the responsibility of the bank. So what I'm trying to do is work relief and remedy for myself by informing Mr. Mangat, who has personal knowledge of the subject matter, that I'm going to be attending the Tillicum branch on Thursday at 3 o'clock to pick up the bank draft for the overdue invoice. I can't afford to do this anymore. I can't afford to continue to be raped by these beasts out here who don't pay, who cause me harm, and I can't continue to live my life like this. Now I have a vandalized car.
What happened to your car?
Well, you guys have the CCTV footage. You know what happened to my car. Somebody came up to my car, put something on my window, and blew out the window. And again, I've had my car. Now someone's broken into my car and taken personal items.
This is my first time hearing about it. Was this in Victoria or was this in Saanich?
Well, where are we right now?
We're in Saanich, technically.
Then that's where it happened.
Okay, this is my first time hearing about your car incident, so again, I'm sorry to hear about that as well. I don't know anything about that. I'm just here to make sure that, first of all, you're okay, and second of all, I can strongly suggest that you do not go to the bank and speak with Mr. Mangat.
And why would that be?
I think you should do any sort of communication that needs to be done via email rather than going in person and getting worked up over, right? The last thing you want is you being in front of Mr. Mangat and you being in front of a bunch of other people and something like this going south, right? I don't want to see you get in trouble if you don't need to be, because this isn't your fault right now what's going on.
How am I supposed to pick up the bank draft if I'm not allowed to attend the criminal organization location? How am I going to get...
That hasn't been confirmed yet that you're
Well,
going to be receiving a bank draft.
Oh, it hasn't been confirmed. Well, I've issued the invoice. I'm not quite sure why it wouldn't be created and waiting for me.
Well, you sent an email demanding the bank draft, but it hasn't been confirmed yet. That has to go through a lot of different people to get that much money put into a bank draft to your name, right? You gotta understand that.
Well, that's why I provided all the invoices and the reasons why the invoices due.
Right. And I understand that. But at the same time, like I said, I don't think you should be going down there and demanding money when nothing's been confirmed yet.
Demanding money? I'm not demanding money. I'm asking for reimbursement for all the monies that were stolen from myself and my family. That's not, it's, you don't have to go through thousands of different individuals. It's quite a simple matter, actually.
Well, it's simple, but it's not, because you've been denied your home already, and now you're asking for what, $175,000?
Did you read the invoice? Did you read the introduction to the invoice? It's all written down.
$175,000?
Because there was an invoice issued 2 years ago that wasn't paid. And so there's interest tacked to the invoice.
Okay. Regardless of the fact, though, I don't think you need to have any further communication with Mr. Mangat, regardless of him being in charge of your file or not. This is well above his pay grade now.
Where are you receiving this information from?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm sorry. Where are you receiving this information from?
How would Mr. Mangat be able to process a $175,000 check to you? This has to go through his supervisors and supervisors. Do you get what I mean? That is a substantial amount of money. You go to the bank with $5,000 in the bank, ask where you got the money from, let alone the bank giving you $175,000.
That's why I was very clear in the administrative process as to what is owed and why it is owed. It is overdue.
Hey, Victoria, a lot of your neighbors can hear us having this conversation, and we could talk a lot quieter.
Yes, how embarrassing for you.
No? Is it embarrassing for you?
You have done nothing but hurt me and harm me every interaction.
Is this hurting you and harming you, this conversation?
Well, yes, because what you're here to do is you're here to intimidate me.
Not at all.
You are here to intimidate me from going and collecting a sum that has been due for years.
Victoria, that's not a police business, so we're not going to get involved with that. What we want to know is, are you mentally healthy? Do you feel like you're going to hurt yourself or any other people at the bank or in the community or here in your suite?
I think you're trying to entrap me in some type of... I don't know why you're trying to entrap me in something.
Mental health, and that's it. Do you intend to hurt anyone at the bank or hurt yourself at all?
No, I don't, but I will tell you I also have sent an invoice to the Saanich mayor.
Okay.
Right, for $34,000? Is that going to take years and years and years to be paid as well? Because District of Saanich has a fiduciary duty to keep me in the lifestyle I've grown accustomed to, living in my house for 17 years. Now, you knew I was being kicked out of my house with nowhere to go and no money. Because there's a police file.
Victoria, that's not a police matter.
So I have that, then it's not a police matter. So when I contact Fred Hayes, the mayor, for that payment, then there's not going to be a problem, right? Because I need to go home.
Yeah, you can email him.
I need to go home to my stolen property.
So, Victoria, the other part of this is there's an endorsed warrant for your arrest.
Endorsed by who?
You failed to attend court, and it's a Victoria file where you didn't go to court, so now there's a warrant for your arrest. Did you know about that?
I'm not going to answer any questions about the continual violent acts that I am now receiving from agents of Victoria Police Department.
There's nothing violent about it. We're informing you of a judicial process that's in place.
That I do not consent to.
Well, regardless of whether you consent to it or not, it's the law and it's in place.
It's not the law, and it's not in place because I don't consent to another violent assault and more false fucking charges. This is not my first rodeo with being falsely charged, hauled down to spend the night in jail for something I'm not even guilty of.
This
isn't, Victoria, that's not that. If this arrest were to happen, this isn't even you staying with us overnight. This is us releasing you on paperwork in a very short period of time.
Well, I don't consent to your paperwork, and I do not believe a word that you're telling me because, like I said, this is not the first time I have had unfortunate, harmful dealings between myself and agents who pretend to be law enforcement.
Okay, well, we're not pretending. If you look at your people, you can see our uniforms.
Sorry, perhaps I should say acting as law enforcement then. You're agents for the Saanich, the District of Saanich. You're agents for the Saanich Police Department. And you're causing me a level of harm that's actually, it's got me actually quite scared for my life. The fact that you continue to come here and harass me and threaten me and intimidate me, which now means that I guess I won't be taking possession back of my stolen property. No one's going to pay me for all the loss, harm, and injury that's been caused to me because at the end of the day, you actually really don't care about all the indictable crimes that have been committed against me. You're not going to go arrest any of the criminals who have done this to me. You're here to arrest me. How does that make any sense to somebody with sense?
Right. And again, Victoria, I have no dealings with your previous home, with none of this bank stuff that's going on. That is, unfortunately, all a civil matter, which unfortunately, again, didn't go your way.
That is not a civil matter, it's a criminal matter.
Okay.
It's not civil, it's criminal. How can you have a house stolen and how can that be a civil matter? It's a criminal matter.
The bank foreclosed it, which is a civil agreement between two parties where a mortgage was set in place. And unfortunately, your husband passed, and then the bank foreclosed the home. So this had nothing to do with a criminal matter here for us.
Now I have written down all the proof that I have that there's no way a foreclosure could happen. I've presented it to agents of the Saanich Police Department to explain that this is not a civil matter. It's a criminal matter. And I have the right to lay criminal charges on those who are involved in harming me and keeping me from going home to my stolen property. So what's happening is failure to serve, which is the indictable crime of fraud.
Okay, Victoria, we're going to get out of here, okay? Because obviously I'm not going to be able to speak with you face to face here, okay?
Well, I'm terrified for my life, so it wouldn't be smart or wise for me to open the door when I know that you intend to cause me harm.
That's not true or realistic.
Not only is it true, it's very realistic.
Okay, another thing I'm going to go over with you as well. You have told me that you have no intentions of harming yourself or others. Is that correct?
Why are you asking me that
I
question?
need to ask before I get out of here. Like I said, I'm going to get out of your hair now, but I need to ask these couple last questions before I go. You have, like you just told me before, you have no intentions to harm yourself or others, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and as far as your appointment goes with Mr. Mangat or to the bank on February 10th, do not go to the bank and do not seek out Mr. Mangat, okay? Please wait for any of this dispute process or whatever you want to call it to be confirmed before you go to retrieve any sort of financial compensation, okay?
I am going to lose my life over this level of hatred and persecution for me and refusal to serve.
I understand that, but like I'm telling you, please do not go to the bank and seek out Mr. Mangat or anyone regarding this financial compensation until it's confirmed, okay?
And who is going to be confirming?
I don't know. You can send emails to the bank manager if you would like, but until this is resolved via email, do not go in there and demand money, okay?
I'm not demanding anything. I simply am asking for the invoice to be paid.
February 10th, 2022, do not go to the bank, okay?
So you're intimidating me. That's what I understand. I understand you.
Your best interests here.
I understand. Oh, right, because I'm going to be physically harmed if I go do what's right, because I have no money. I have no money. I have no money.
Confirm with the bank via email before you go, okay?
Well, that's exactly what I just tried to do.
Okay, we'll keep trying and do not go until you receive that confirmation, okay?
If you show up at the bank, you'll likely get arrested.
Well, of course I will, because that's exactly what happens when you're ruled by criminals.
Okay, Victoria, that's your official warning, okay? So do not go to the bank or you will be arrested, okay? Have a good night, okay?
No, I will not have a good night. Now I'm terrified once again. I'm scared for my life.